So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we will be discussing the Indian Express newspaper of the day as well as of the weekend. So let's start our discussion. Herein we will be discussing, first we will be starting with the PYQ of the day as usual. Okay, and after that we will be going to the next part, that is geography through map. Okay, so herein in the geography through maps, we will be talking about the Spain and Catalonia issue. Okay, so you must have heard about it, and this is a contemporary issue which has been in news for various reasons. It has been years, it is there. So Catalonia is asking for the independence and all, so we will be covering that through map, wherein we will be seeing the location of the Catalonia, and that can be important for our examination. Then in the articles, we will be discussing these 3-4 important articles that is related to World War III gamble. Now this article is basically related to Russia Ukraine war plus USA's role in that. Recently USA is proposing that they will be, going for the peace process and all. So we will be discussing that. Along with that, we will also discuss what Europe is doing about it. Okay, so these things we will be discussing in this particular article. Then why market crashed. We will be talking about the market here, where we talk about the capital market or the, you can say, stock market. So we will be talking about that. We will see that why is that in the last few months we have seen that market is continuously going down. So we will be discussing the reasons over here. We will also see that what investors can do. Okay, then coming to the next one, what is PLI 2.0, production linked incentives. This is a scheme which was earlier there, and now they are going for the 2.0, wherein they will be adding some of the elements over here. So we will be talking about that. Okay, then for your own read, there will be two articles, one from the weekend and one from today's newspaper, and then explanation of the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture, and then we will be seeing a practice question from today's lecture. Okay, so this is about the outline. Now let's see the first over here, that is your PYQ of the day. Now there are two lists which is given over here. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the code given below the list. Here there is a list and these codes are given. Now what you have to see is that there is one which is your geographical features which are given over here. Then there is country. Hold on. Okay. So one side we have geographical features, then second side we are having the countries, we have to match it. Okay. Now talking about the Great Victoria Desert, when we talk about this is in Australia. So first code will be 1. Okay. Now if you look at C and D, that would be eliminated over here because they are talking about 3. The third one over here, that is New Zealand. New Zealand is not the place where Great Victorian Desert is. Okay. So this is your answer, that is your Australia. Coming to the next one, that is your Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is located in USA. So second will be 4. Okay, so option B would be your right answer over here. That is all you need to do. Now these features which are given over here, that is Great Victorian Desert, Great Canyon, okay, Southern Alps. These are something which you should know about. Okay, even if you don't know about the Lake Winnipeg and the Southern Alps, you should know about at least these two things, because these are the features which are quite important. Even in your NCERTs they are mentioned. Okay, so that is there. Now coming to the next one, that is your Lake Winnipeg, that is there in Canada. And when we talk about the Southern Alps, that is there in New Zealand. Now we are talking about the Southern Alps. We also have Alps mountain. Now you will be telling me in the comment box that where these are located, because we have discussed that in the geography through map section, wherein we have discussed the mountains of the world. Okay, mountain ranges or the hill ranges of the world. Okay, so this is about this particular PYQ. This was asked in 2009. Now on this particular pattern, there might be some question which can be asked. Now that can be a geographical feature, that can be mountain ranges, that can be a particular area, okay, where some kind of issue is going on. All these things can be possible. Okay. Now let's move further and see the locations over here. Here you can see this is your Great Victoria Desert, that is there in Australia. Then here you can see the Lake Winnipeg, that is there in Canada. Here you can see this is the location of Grand Canyon. Then coming to this one, this is your, this is New Zealand. These islets are there, and in the southern island we have this, you can say, this range over here, that is your Southern Alps. Okay, so that is about today's discussion over here. Now let's see the geography through maps. Now this is your Spain, this is Catalonia. Okay, now here you can see this particular you can say peninsula, it is known as the Iberian Peninsula. Okay, this peninsula which you are looking over here, that is your Iberian Peninsula. In the Iberian Peninsula we have Spain, we have Portugal. Okay, and here you can see this particular part over here, this part which is there in the northeastern region, I would say. northeastern region of the Spain. Okay, now this is called as Catalonia. Okay, now historically it has been seen that this particular part has its own history. This particular part has significant contribution to the GDP. This is the most developed area of this particular region. Most taxpayer are from this particular region. So what is happening is that the GDP or the economically this area is prosperous, and this is paying for a lot of things in the Spain. Now considering that, considering their importance, these people over here which are living over here, Catalonians, they want independence. Okay, this has been a long standing issue. It has been a contemporary issue for a long while. That is why that can be asked in our examination. Other than that, there are other issues when we talk about the Europe and all. Nagorno Karabakh is there. When we talk about this Armenia Azerbaijan issue, that is your Nagorno Karabakh. Okay, so that is there. Some when we talk about the Russia Ukraine issue, Crimea is one of such territories. So these are some of the areas which can be asked in the examination, because these are important for your contemporary international relations. Okay, now let's talk about the Catalonia now. Why is it so important? Located in the northeastern Iberian Peninsula, and that is Spain, has its own language, parliament, flag and anthem. Okay, so they are having their own language, parliament, flag and anthem. 1000+ years of history they are having, and then strong nationalist sentiment pushing for the independence. So this is what is there, because of which they are pushing for the independence. One of Spain's wealthiest region. One region. Second is 25.6% of the exports are coming from this particular region. 19% of the GDP of Spain is coming from this particular region. Okay, 20.7% of the foreign investments are basically in this particular region. Now, historically a maritime and the industrial hub, because obviously in the Mediterranean Sea they are having port towns like Barcelona, Tarragona, all these ports are located over here. Historically, a maritime and an industrial hub, now center for the finance and the high-tech industry, sends high tax contribution to the Madrid but receives lower returns, and 2010 changes the autonomous status, seen as the undermining the Catalonian identity. Now, these are the issue with respect to the Iberian Peninsula, wherein Spain and Catalonia, basically when we say that Catalonia is as of now part of Spain, but they are asking for the independence. So this is about today's discussion on the geography through maps. Now coming to the next part, before that I would tell you India is a land of festivals, and every festival has its own importance. On the occasion of Holi, we are bringing you special gift for you, that is from 5th of March to 12th of March, we will be providing you all the online courses at 60% less price, and all the books and the test series will be available at 40% less price. So do not miss the offer. You can go to the Drishti Learning app, or you can go to the link which is given in the description, or 87501 is the number where you can call for any query related to the course, related to the offer, or anything which is related to this particular aspect. Okay, so don't wait, just go and download the Drishti Learning app. Now let's move further and start with the first article, that is, you are gambling with World War III, Trump said to Zelensky. Now there was this meeting wherein Ukrainian president has met to the US's president, and in that particular press conference things got heated over there, and there was this argument which was there. Okay, now here what is important for us is that we have seen a shift in the you can say US's stand when we talk about the position with respect to Ukraine. In the last you can say presidential shift, when we talk about the Joe Biden era, we have seen that they are supporting Ukraine, but here now we will be seeing that Mr. Trump wants to build good relations with Russia. Okay, that is one thing. They want to build the, you can say, whatever tensions were there, they want to eliminate the tensions and then move ahead with that. When we talk about Zelensky, he is here to get grants for the, you can get support for the Ukrainian war. Okay, so here there was some argument which has started. Now let's see what is important for us. Okay, former US President Donald Trump and the Ukrainian President, here I would say that this is US President, not former US President. Earlier, this is something you can say. So anyways, US President Donald Trump and the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky engaged in a heated discussion at the White House over the US support for Ukraine. What is the key dispute here? Mr. Trump has accused Zelensky for being ungrateful for USA's support. Okay, whatever aid USA has given. Okay, so and he has said that he has warned him that you are gambling with the World War III here. Okay. Zelensky pushed back and emphasizing the Ukraine's struggle and the destruction caused by the war. Obviously, for that they need support. Okay, so that is about the issue. Now let's see what is the policy shift over here? When we talk about the past presidents, they have supported the Ukraine over here and they were against Russia. We have seen that there were sanctions which has been imposed, etc., etc. Okay, Trump advocates less committed US stand on the European security. When we talk about the NATO, they are basically not in favor of increasing the funding to NATO. That is one thing. Other than that, he has removed the US aid, or you can say he has actually reduced the US aid as well. Now, considering all these things, we can say that he is having a stance that is protectionist, and that is your America first stance. Okay, you can say that is your inward looking outlook he has. Okay, so basically they are not supporting USA, or you can say USA's money. They are, hold on a second, patch. Okay, so here it is clear that Mr. Trump is not very fond of giving away money to for another causes, etc. Okay, so that is there when we talk about the WHO, or when we talk about the climate agreements, etc. He is not very fond of giving the American money. Okay, so that is the thing. So Trump advocated a less committed US stand for the European security and aimed to improve the ties with Russia. He sought to limit the direct security guarantees for Ukraine, instead promoting economic engagement through business investments. Okay, so we have seen that in the last summit which has happened in the Saudi Arabia, wherein also we have seen that the USA and Russia are trying to build their ties, or they are trying to remove the tension from their ties. That particular summit was less about Ukraine, more about Russia and USA. Okay, so that is there. What is Ukraine's position as of now? So Ukraine has urged Mr. Trump to take a stronger stance against Russia and avoid the compromise with Putin over here. Then when we talk about the next part over here, he has disappointed by the exclusion of the explicit American security assurances in the proposed agreement. Okay, so this is something you can say that there is a policy shift which has been seen from the USA's side over here. Now, economic aspect. Why USA was interested in the Ukraine earlier? Because there was resources. Okay, in Ukraine there are resources, and USA wanted those resources. But recently, when USA made it clear that they want 50% of the ownership of the you can say Ukrainian resources, at that point of time it was made clear that the domestic law does not allow that. Now, that kind of interest which was there, which was basically being served by for the USA, that is not there, and ultimately USA has changed the stance over here. Now, moving to the next part, geopolitical impact. If you want to see over here, the meeting underscores a shift in the US's foreign policy, which we have already seen. Okay, now Ukraine growing defense industry and the reliance on the Western military support remain crucial amid the continued Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, so obviously Ukraine needs USA as of now, but USA has shifted the policy. Okay, yeah. So now let's move further to the next part over here. Now this is what, when we talk about the USA and the Ukraine and Russia's equation. Now we are seeing that what Europe is talking about this, all this, what kind of feeling Europe has about this. Okay, so UK, France, Ukraine to work on a truce plan, discuss it with USA, says the Britain Prime Minister over here. Okay, so let's see what has been discussed over here in this particular meeting. Though this meeting has been overshadowed by the, you can say, USA and Ukraine's talks, but this was a significant meeting which has happened recently. So this is generally called as the London Plan or the London Summit. Okay, so let's see UK, France, Ukraine to work on a truce plan, discuss it with USA. Here, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, along with the Ukrainian president, that is Vladimir Zelensky, and the French president Macron, agreed to draft a plan to end the conflict in the Ukraine and discuss it with the USA. Okay, because USA is also having stakes over here. The plan includes the element that US back support will be there. US back support, why? Because USA will prevent if Russia is taking a step back from the, you can say, plan for over here. So to prevent the Russia from violating the agreement, so USA's backstop would be there. So that was one key element is there, and that is why USA, they will be discussing with USA. Starmer has announced additional military aid and including 1.6 billion for 5,000 air defense. Okay, 1.6 billion pound for the, you can say, 5,000 air defense, that is not very much important. The meeting was overshadowed by the Trump's criticism, which we have already seen. The Starmer aims to use the truce talk as a means to restore diplomatic negotiations. So basically, that is about the you can say Europe's you can say stand or the take on the issue over here. Now coming to the next part, here we will be talking about the PKK. Now when we talk about the PKK, that is basically your Kurdistan's Workers Party. Okay, I would say that this is Kurdistan Workers Party. So when we talk about the Kurdistan Workers Party, so obviously Kurdistan is an area which is also fighting for, you can say, some kind of autonomy, okay, and from Turkey. And when we talk about this particular group, we just have to have an idea what is the issue and what is this group about. Okay, so let's see origin and the goals. So the PKK launched an armed insurgency against Turkey in 1980s, originally seeking independence from the Kurds. Independence for Kurds from the Turkey. Okay, so there is this region where this particular community is residing. This is an ethnic community which is residing in the Turkey, or you can say southern Turkey over there, and about 15% of Turkey's population, that is Kurds. Over the time, conflict had spread and including the urban bombings. Okay, now that is your PKK. It was initially launched in 1980s. Now Turkey's response, if we talk about, so Turkey has captured the PKK leader, that is Abdullah Öcalan, in 1999, sentencing him to the life imprisonment, but his ideology still influenced the Kurdish cause over here. So this is all you should know about this particular article, because nothing much is important from this. Just know that Kurds are basically fighting against, you can say, Turkey over here, and they are having the, you can say, their prominence in the southern Turkey and some part of the regions over here, you know, neighborhood countries as well. So this is about PKK. That is all you should need from this particular point of view. If you are having this you know, optional, that is political science, you can go through this particular article as well. Okay. So when we talk about the Kurds issue, or when we can say Kurdish militia, so you can see that that is the issue of autonomy from Turkey. Okay. Now let's move further to the next one. Regional influence, if we talk about, so here you can say, as I told you, Kurdish groups are linked to the PKK, which are operating in the southern Turkey and the countries like Syria and the Iraq, playing roles in the conflicts, including the fighting ISIS. Okay, peace efforts, if we talk about, so there has been a ceasefire, various ceasefire has been there, but that has collapsed. Okay, so that is about this particular you can say PKK. Okay. Now we can move to the next one, that is your PLI review 5 years on. Hold on. Okay. So when we talk about the PLI initially was started for 3 sectors, then it was included, you know, some other sectors were included, and totally 14 sectors were there under the PLI, but the performance is not very good. So that is why they will be going for some kind of changes over here. So let's see. Okay. So when we talk about the review over here, that is a 5-year review which was there. A new metric such as the incremental exports, value addition to the incentivizing manufacturing has been discussed over here. So basically they are going for some of you know, new metrics in the PLI scheme. So let's see what is PLI scheme. Key highlights, if we talk about, so the production linked incentive, that is PLI scheme, launched in April 2020, has covered 14 sectors. Initially it was started with 3 sectors, and then other 11 were added over here to boost the India's manufacturing. The idea over here is that the production linked incentives to increase the production, that is the idea. It has attracted OEMs, that is original equipment manufacturers, and the contract manufacturing. Okay, original equipment manufacturers, then basically you can say that the capital machinery they are trying to build over here. Then contract manufacturers, aiding scales and the investment in the key industries. The scheme contributed to the limited value addition in the areas PCB assemblies, product testing and the packaging. So basically they are saying that only limited value addition was there, not up to mark which was thought initially. Okay, so here you can see that is basically the overview. Now let's see what are the challenges which were there and what is the need for the PLI 2.0 when we already have a PLI scheme. Okay, so let's see. The first phase focused on the manufacturing growth, but the value addition remains low across the sectors, which we have already seen. The government is considering new incentive metrics incentive metrics, that means that there you can get more incentives. Okay, so here they are going for the localization of the supply chains. Localization of the supply chains, that means that you are sourcing the raw material from the locals. That means that the manufacturer or the raw material or the people who are basically selling the raw material, they will also be included in the value chain over here or supply chain over here. Incremental exports, now they will be supporting the exports as well, and strategic vendor base expansions, they will be expanding the vendor base as well. That means that they are enhancing, or you can say enriching the supply chain. Coming to the next one, challenges and the sector wise performance, if we talk about, so they have given some of the sectors where the performance was lower than expected, or it was relatively well. So here you can say IT hardware, especially steel and textile, has seen lower than the expected results. When we talk about the mobile phones, food processing and the pharma, they have performed relatively better. So these are the sectors basically they have performed relatively better. China's success in the EV manufacturing by attracting Tesla is cited as a model India can emulate. So basically what they are saying is that here they can emulate the model of China, wherein China has invited Tesla for the manufacturing of the electric vehicles, because Tesla is already doing good in the electrical vehicles. If they are coming to China, that means that they will be bringing the technology as well. Okay, so that is the idea behind it. So India can do that as well. Now, if we talk about the you can say specifics on the PLI scheme when it was started. So here you can say that the PLI scheme was conceived to scale up the domestic manufacturing capabilities accompanied by the higher import substitution. The idea was that we will be going to cater our own demand, we will not go for the imports. That is one thing. Second was to increase the exports, and then employment generation. These were the ideas. Okay, launched in March 2020. The scheme initially targeted 3 industries, that is mobile and allied component manufacturing, electric component manufacturing and the medical devices. Earlier these 3 areas were there. Later on, that was extended to 14 sectors. The PLI scheme, domestic and the foreign companies receives financial rewards for manufacturing in India based on the percentage of their revenue over the 5 years. Okay, so that is about the PLI scheme. Now we can move further to the next one. Friday fright, Sensex rise 1.9%, Nifty down 15% since September peak. So basically what they are saying is that market has crashed. So why is that? And we have seen that in the past few months, we have seen that market was actually going down. Okay, so that is about it. So let's see, when we talk about this market crash, we will be seeing that what were the reason about these market crash, because obviously that is important for us, because when we talk about the capital market etc., the market works on the sentiments. Okay, but when we talk about UPSC will be playing on the statics. Okay, they will be asking about the static of the how market works, what are the components, all these things they can ask, who is regulating all these things. But when it comes to the analytical part, they can ask you about why there is a crash in the market. All these things can be there. So let's see, market crash, why, what now? Reason for the market crash and the investors' reactions: market decline due to the multiple factors. What are the factors? One was the corporate earning. When we talk about the corporate earning, that was low. When corporate earning is low, that means that dividends are low. So that is one thing. Okay, coming to the second one, high valuation leading to profit booking by the foreign investors. Now high valuation, what does that mean? Okay, now what happens is that, let's say this is your some kind of, let's say mutual funds if we are talking about. Now mutual funds has started to grow. When a particular mutual fund started to grow, people saw that yes, this particular fund is growing, so they started to put more SIPs into that, put more money into that, put more investment into that. Okay, so they have started to put more money into that, and because of which the price of this shot up. Okay, now with relation to the performance of this particular mutual fund, the price is going high and high and high. Okay, so obviously at some point of time people will realize, and then there is a need of the market correction. Okay, market correction means that according to the original assets over here, the price should be corrected again. Okay, that will be done by the market itself. So because of the various factors like whatever foreign investments were coming, and then there was a shift in the foreign investment from India to China to USA, and because of which there was a crash in the market. Okay, so all these overvalued assets which were there, that has actually gone to the price correction. Okay, so that is another reason for the market crash over here. Coming to the next one, strengthening the US dollars due to the US capital inflow impacting the emerging markets. Again, what I was telling you, that there was this FII which was started to move out of India. Okay, and it was going to USA. Okay, because of which US's dollar was increasing. That was one of the thing over here. Declining bond yields reducing the returns, leading to the investors towards the US dollars investments. So basically, when they have seen that the rupee is declining and US dollar is getting strengthened, so they are investing in the dollars. That is one thing. Other than that, also bond yields are declining because market was going down and they have seen that Indian market is not giving that kind of returns. So the yield further divided because they moved away from the Indian market. Okay, so that was another reason. Foreign portfolio investments, FPI selling aggressively, as I told you that FII and FPI are going out of the country, that is they are causing further declines. However, domestic institution investors are still buying. When we talk about the people, still they are still going for the investments in the, you can say, SIP. Okay, so that is there. Now, this is the reason for the crash. Now, what is the investors outlook? What investors should be thinking and doing? So, high net worth individuals are investing cautiously. Those people who are having high net worth, they are investing cautiously. When we talk about the retail investors or the middle class people, they are still, entering into the market. Okay, so that is the trend right now. Now, what is the advice for the investors over here? So, advice is avoid panic selling. Okay, you should not go for panic because whenever when we talk about the market, there will be a market correction. Okay, after some months you will be seeing that when market is going up, okay, after that there will be a market correction, then market will start to grow again. Over the years you will be seeing that the graph will be something like this. Okay, like this. So these phases over here, these are called as the market corrections. Okay, so that will happen, so you don't have to panic. Okay, if you are having the long term investments, you don't have to panic about that. So avoid panic selling unless the holding heavily overvalued the stocks, until unless there is a, when we talk about a particular stock that is heavily overvalued, that is different story. Otherwise, avoid panic selling. Coming to the next one, consider investing in the staggered manner. Okay, you should go for the, little bit cautiously. You can go for different you can say kind of investments over here. Then coming to the next one, focus on the large cap and the strong fundamental stocks. Okay, if you are going for the large cap, that means that you are going for the long term investments over here. So that over there you can invest, because when we talk about the large caps, they are more secure, relatively secure, I would say. When we go for the small cap investments, they are on the riskier side. Middle caps are, you can say the relatively better, and the large caps are better than that. Okay, so that is there. Still, risk will always be there. Then future market trends, if we talk about the small and the mid cap stocks are approaching historical average valuation, and then the FPI is continuous selling and the markets may decline further, but DII, when we talk about the domestic investors, are expected to provide the support. Domestic investors will still go for the investment and ultimately they will support the market. Okay, so that is about the market outlook. Now coming to the next one, private lunar lander Blue Ghost touches down on the moon with the delivery for NASA. Now when we talk about this Blue Ghost, this is a, you can say, lander which is there, and it is done by the private industry for the first time. Okay, when we talk about the countries, there are few countries which has already gone for the soft landing on the moon. Okay, India is one of them, Russia is there, USA is there, China is there, India is there, and Japan is there. India is there and Japan is there. These are the countries which has gone for the soft landing on the moon. Okay. Now, when we talk about the private company that is, the name is Firefly. Firefly has done it for the first time. Now, you know that private companies are entering into this particular market and they want to have the, they want to go to the, near Earth celestial bodies as well. So that is there. A private lunar lander carrying a drill, vacuum and other experiments for NASA touched down on the moon. String of companies looking to kickstart business on Earth's celestial neighbor ahead of the astronaut mission. Firefly Aerospace Blue Ghost lander descended from the lunar orbit on autopilot, aiming for the slopes of the ancient volcanic dome in the impact basin on the moon's northeastern edge of the near side. When we talk about the moon, there are two sides. One is facing the earth, that is called as the near side, and then there is another which is not facing the earth, that is your far side. So it is it has actually successfully, landed on the near side over here. So that is about it. The first private outfit to put spacecraft on the moon without crashing or falling over. So that is basically your Firefly. You should remember that. Okay. Coming to the next article over here, there is a passing reference where China is sending Pakistan's astronaut as first foreign guest to its Tiangong space station. So China is having their own space station, that is Tiangong space station. So here they are sending astronaut from Pakistan. That is just a passing reference. If in some PCS or they can ask you about this, so that is the answer, that is China. Okay, for your own read, there are two articles. Legacy of Khusro, musical flag bearer of the Sufism's pluralistic traditions. So you can go through this article. That article can be important from your art and culture's point of view. Art and culture's point of view. So you can go and read this particular article. You know, Amir Khusro, he is a prominent personality when we talk about the medieval time. So you should know about that. Now coming to the next one, that is the repealed law on the dramatic performances flagged by PM. So when we talk about the Dramatic Performances Act, there are few acts which were there under Article 372. These were the colonial acts which stayed with the, you can say, stayed in the independent India, and it was said that until unless they are repealed or changed by the parliament, they will be like that. Okay, so there was this act which was basically your Dramatic Performances Act, which was there, and that act during the colonial time, they put a ban on the, you know, dramatic performances in the public sphere. Why? Because these dramatic performances had the nationalistic element, and because of which, you know, they wanted to ban it. So this is about that particular article. So you can go through this. Here you can say, I'll give you the reference. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday asked why a colonial law that allowed the arrest of people dancing in public places had continued to exist even after 75 years of the independence. He was speaking of the government's effort to repeal the archaic obsolete law in the recent year. That particular law they are talking about, that is the Dramatic Performance Act 1876. So you can go through this article as well. Now in the end, we have the practice question for you. Which constitutional amendment was passed in response to the Champakam Dorairajan case? 42nd, 73rd, 15th or 1st? We have already discussed that. That is the first one. Okay, coming to the next one, and that was related to, when we talk about this was related to you can say a government order. That was the state government, Madras government's order with respect to the caste based reservation. Okay, so that was the order, and against this particular order, Champakam Dorairajan case was there, which was entered into the judiciary, and that particular order has repealed, or you can say they have actually struck down this particular order. And in response to that, government has gone for the first amendment, wherein they have added the 15 clause 4, and wherein they have allowed that there can be a caste based reservation, there can be an affirmative action. Okay, so that is about it. Now coming to the next question from today's discussion, where is Catalonia located? Southern Spain, northeastern Spain, western Spain or northwestern Spain? So you can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you in the next session. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you, study well, and please don't forget to subscribe the channel. Bye.